Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Retail Empire. Taylor Offer here. Today, we're going to talk about Walmart. I'm going to focus a little bit on their marketplace. A lot of you that are selling on Amazon are also selling on Walmart already. It's very important, not only because of the huge marketplace, which is ranked number 2 or 3 in the States, one of like the biggest competition that is out there for Amazon, but also because, and here is something from inside. Once you reach annual sales of, monthly sales of around $70,000-$80,000 with whatever products you have, and that's including all the products, this is when you can apply to their stores as far as they concern. So yes, there are a lot of vendors going directly to the stores from the very first place, but if that didn't happen for you, then Marketplace is your golden ticket to the stores. Opening sign, and we start. Okay, let's dive right into it. I'm going to share my screen. Here's a presentation directly from Walmart buyers. Here's one thing to keep in mind. In most of the cases, there are separated teams for online and offline, for the marketplace and for the stores. Okay, we're going to see it later on, but just so, just so that you know. And they start with saying who we are may surprise you. And you know what? With all the years in retail, it surprised me as well. Some of the information here surprised me. So let's dive. Of course, they have to share with you some, database, 4,000 e-commerce delivery location, which means their fulfillment centers, and then some numbers, 160 million customers that are served a week, which is very big. And this is interesting. Look at the title here. Walmart and Amazon customers are quite similar. They are targeting Amazon. They want to take over the first place, which I'm not sure if it's going to happen. Probably not in the next couple of years, because Amazon, they are amazing. But as you can see, the consumers that you are looking at, the demographic is quite the same. So if you are selling on Amazon Marketplace, like Walmart is definitely your next step if you're not there yet. Let's go dive right into the next pages. So again, there are more like 100,000 suppliers globally. When they say globally, I think they're talking about Walmart in other countries as well. I thought they have more of suppliers, to be honest with you. And I do believe that 100,000 is not that huge number, because think about Walmart, they are all over across the world. They are in many countries. Just from living in China, I know that there are tons of Walmart stores in China. Okay, and that's besides USA. In USA, they I think they have 4,600 or more or less stores, but we will see these numbers. Oh, here they are. So they have 3,570 super centers, and then they have 370 hometown stores, and 680 neighborhood markets. But if you if you look below that, and much more, for a total of 5,300 locations. This is much more than what I thought. I thought they have 4,600, but they are growing, which is very good. Obviously, you can see their stock in the stock market and see how they are doing and hear the news, but I'm just focusing on Marketplace here today. 90% of Americans shop at Walmart. Brilliant. And then you have some information about more database. We'll skip that part and we'll skip this one as well. And live arrow means continue to evolve to meet the customer where needed. So they're talking about desktop and mobile, pickup, delivery, free, and everything. We'll go through their terms quickly in a second, but before that, this is something that is very important. It looks like just another image, a visual image, but it's not that. It's a very important one, because this is dividing what they are doing. I'm not sure about the head, torso, and tail, but the marketplace, as you see, and DSV. DSV stands for dropship vendor. Okay, so your dropship vendor means that you're shipping directly to the consumer, while marketplace, if I understand correctly, is when you ship from their fulfillment center. Okay, it's a little bit different. And then, as you can see, the front part, the brain and the leg and the head, which is the most important part of human physics, is stores. Okay, the 5,000 plus stores that they have is the biggest thing. And as I mentioned, marketplace is a very high chance ticket to get to the stores. But before you get there, you need to prove your concept and products in the marketplace. And the marketplace itself is also, this is something that most of us know. Marketplace is very strong. Okay, very strong. You can get there to crazy numbers. On Macy's alone, and that's Macy's marketplace, one of our vendors did only on Q4 $4.6 million. I think I showed that in another YouTube. But anyway, even if you haven't seen that, that's what they did on Macy's. And Macy's is considered as, I think, it used to be 9. I think now it's number 10 or 11 in the marketplace rank. So if you're talking about Walmart, obviously the numbers are quite much bigger. Okay. They work with suppliers to bring the products, of course. Sorry for the noises, some ambulance just down the road. And then they're showing you some more numbers again, and they're winning brands. All these brands, not all of them, but some of these brands are small brands and not ones that are too famous, but some of them are famous indeed. But they're just showing you that they work with a lot of different brands from different type and environment type of brands. We are committed to showcasing our partner brand to our customers. Brilliant. And thanks for stopping by. And that's it. Now, allow me to share with you something on top of this. Now, these are part of some of the files that you're getting from them. Now, some of these files, we are not going to go through them because they are considered as files for vendors that are going to stores. But let's take a look at this most important thing. You need an insurance. Your company, whether if it's in the state or not, have to have insurance, what we call liability. Liability is most likely to be $1 million. But if you scroll down here, you will see that if you are a food and drink product, in that category, the liability goes up to $2, $4, and even $5 million. Okay, assuming that you're not selling these type of products, in most of the cases, you will be somewhere between $1 to $2 million of liability requested. Okay, now I don't know why this is popping up. Let's close that. Yeah, okay, this is one thing to keep in mind. OSHA, I don't want to go through this. It's just compliance, nothing crazy here to know. Product safety is something that they really put a lot of bolding and energy on because obviously they want to stay away from problems with their consumer, dangerous materials and stuff like that. But this is, and you can go through all these links, by the way, to see their product removal guideline, federal management program. It's really not necessarily e-commerce compliance team. You have in those links all the contacts you need to contact if you have any question, issue, or whatever happens. If you're asking me, and I've been seeing manual vendor manuals, I've seen quite a lot of them in my career. I don't think you need to go through them because eventually they're gonna waste a lot of your time without necessary things that you need to know before you onboard. Okay, obviously it's talking also about Sam Club because Sam Club is part of Walmart. It's the same company. What I would want to focus for a second, and this is like a diagram showing you, testing and the process and everything with the flow in terms of quality again. But what I would want to show you is Proc 65, which is something that a lot of us are not aware of. Now, this is from 2018, but it's still valid after 7 years, and it's going to be valid for the next 5 to 10 years at least, unless Trump administration is going to change that. Proposition 65 is a standard created in 1965. That's why it's called 65. And this is referring basically to California. So because you don't know if your product's going to sell in California or other places, most chances that they're going to sell also in California, they ask you for this standard. Now, this standard, people tend to think that it's hard, complicated. Well, it's not. If you produce in China, for instance, or India or wherever, there are tons of different labs that could create this Proposition 65 for somewhere between $50 to $100 per SKU per standard, and it's usually valid for 2 or 3 years. It's not a big deal. Okay, you just need to know that you need that thing. There's no reason to read everything that is written here because it has No meaning whatsoever. The only thing you wouldn't want is to email that at the end of the process, either to your buyer or to the compliance team that are mentioned in here. Okay, so yeah, that's about it on this issue. Auditing is something that I'm not going to go through, because auditing is something they usually do only with in-store vendors. If you're shipping directly to their DC, distribution center, then they would ask you for auditing. Auditing means that they come to your factory and they check the standard of the factory in terms of quality, insurance of the factory, what's the type of living atmosphere area. They want to make sure that there are no abusement in the factory, and so on and so on. And that's why you see here a couple of factory images, or one of them I just seen. Yeah, here it is. Okay, that's what it's audit is about. But we won't dive into it again, because this is not related to the marketplaces in 99% of the cases. Standard for suppliers. Here's the CEO. And standard of suppliers is, again, something that you not necessarily want to read, because all you need to know are a couple of very basic, or I don't know if basic, but very important things that you need to know that are quite common. Okay, so you need to have GS1 barcodes, UPCs. You need to make sure that any pricing that you disclose to them stays between you and them. Either if you work on stores or marketplace, the internal pricing method between you and them is going to stay between you and them, and they want to keep it like that. Okay, there's a list of do and don't that they provide you once you onboard. And by the way, onboarding is not an easy process. It's not something that you would do in half an hour, because they want to make sure that you are a proper vendor and everything, and that you can supply what you're telling you're supplying. And mostly they want to avoid issues like, extra charges or faults of shipping and fulfilling orders. And by the way, they charge you for any failure like that. So if you have an order and you're supposed to ship it within 1 or 2 days according to their compliance, and you don't do so, they're going to charge you usually $5 to $10. Usually it's $5. But on top of that, if there are returns, they want you to take full control on the returns in terms of the cost of the return, plus 10% handling fee, because they need to restock it or to scrap it. And I'm telling you all this because you just need to make sure that you are ready for them. I mean, if you are ready for Amazon, there's no reason why you shouldn't be ready for Walmart. The only big difference that I see is that on Amazon, you're talking with computers and bots in your daily routine, while with Walmart, you usually have buyers involved and they help you in the process. And they do so because they want to grow the market to be the biggest one, as I mentioned before. One of the programs that is very interesting one that I've seen last year and the year before that, 23 and 24, and I believe they do it in 25 as well, obviously, is a buyer that likes your product, helping you to onboard, explaining you the process, going on a Zoom call with you, and then every month having a call with you to see how to boost your brand in their platform, to explain you of the method. Now, I'm not an expert, not even close to that, when it comes to how to push the products in the platform. There are a lot of different methods. I don't know if it works by PPC or whatever it is, but this is definitely not my area. My area is just the onboarding. Once you onboard, and even with vendors that we work with, once they onboard, it's on them to operate the system, because this is not brick and mortar and this is not the type of business that we are familiar with. But in general, there are a lot of ways to push your products inside the platform, and that program that I mentioned is only being done when you have a direct contact with the buyer. So how would you have a direct contact with the buyer is something that I explained before in my videos. But if you don't want to see an explanation, you are most welcome to join our community, and the link is in the description of this video. You can join our community, where not only we share much more deep details, just like I'm showing today, but also we are sharing with our community contacts of actual buyers every week, and Walmart is of course part of them. Okay, you have the contact, you have the information from us how to do the step, and there's also videos that we release each and every week about different retailers and buyers and topics so that everyone in the community could do the step themselves. Okay. Anyway, going back to Walmart. So the process is not as hard as it might seem. And I do think that if you're selling on Amazon and you're not selling on Walmart, this is definitely something that you need to do because it's only going to grow from here, obviously. And this is a very good ticket to retail because even if you don't end up selling in their stores, you would still learn a lot from the process because the buyers, even the marketplace buyers, they're coming from stores category and they talk with you the retail language. So learning the retail language is priceless when you do it live and in real life. Okay. Thank you for listening. I'm Taylor Offer. This was a session about Walmart Marketplace. Cheers, everyone.